Chapter 30. Too Strong. As Quinn walked up to the stage, he noticed that Brandon, his opponent's indicator showed that he was at the power level of 3. If this was a fight in the outside world, where they both could use their abilities, Quinn felt like he didn't have much chance of winning. But here in the arena, where abilities weren't allowed, Quinn had a body stronger than most, his speed was faster than most. In the novels he had read, a vampire's strength was far greater than the human race before the introduction of abilities. If they wanted to, they could have ruled the world. Brandon held a large spear in hand which had great reach. The end was sharp with a single curved blade at the end. Opponent power level 3. Bonus EXP will be rewarded. It seemed like Quinn's day was only getting better. Begin. Leo shouted. Brandon immediately charged in with his spear, while Quinn stood there and took a fighting stance with both of his hands held out in front of him. When Brandon was within striking distance, he thrust his spear forward. It was fast and impressive to the people watching outside. But to Quinn, who had 12 points in agility, it was easy for him to dodge. He avoided the spear strike and ducked down. Then before Brandon could pull the spear back, Quinn went and grabbed the spear with his hand. "What the hell?" Brandon said as he tried pulling the spear back. "Let go." While holding the spear with one hand, Quinn opened up his other hand and swung out his fist like a claw as hard as he could at the spear. Then a few moments later the spear had been sliced in half. "What the? My weapon, it's faulty," Brandon complained, but Leo did nothing to step in. Quinn rushed forward and before Brandon could do anything, Quinn punched him hard in the stomach. Brandon's feet lifted off the ground and it looked like his body was about to fly away. Inspect. Brandon Richardson. Ability. Elemental. HP 5 out of 15. Blood type O positive. Quinn knew that if Brandon was to fly out of the arena it would be considered his win, but the system wouldn't allow him to win like that. He needed to beat his opponent down to at least 1 HP. So before Brandon could be lifted into the air, Quinn grabbed him and pulled him back down and at the same time kneed him in the face, causing Brandon's nose to bleed and his head to be sent backwards. And finally, Brandon collapsed lying there on the ground. Winner, Quinn Talon. Leo said. Opponent has been defeated. 50 EXP rewarded. First time higher power level bonus 50 EXP rewarded. 220 out of 200 EXP. Congratulations, you are now level 3. 20 out of 400 EXP. 1 attribute point awarded. New skill, Blood Bank, unlocked. After defeating Brandon, Quinn had received multiple messages and had even leveled up. The bonus reward for defeating a level 3 user was higher than when he defeated a level 2 user. However, it was a shame that the bonus reward was only a one-time thing. With the messages, there was also a new skill that had been unlocked. Although Quinn didn't have the time to look at it now, he needed to get off the stage and look at it later. Before leaving, Quinn looked at Brandon, who was lying on the floor. Blood was dripping from his nose and Quinn just had one thought. What a waste. It was a shame Quinn wasn't able to store or drink Brandon's blood. After all, everyone was watching, but if he did, he would have learned what the O-type blood did as well. The two military men again appeared out of thin air and took Brandon away to the doctor's office, but before Quinn could leave the arena a couple of boys shouted from the crowd. "That's not fair," a boy said. Brandon obviously was using a faulty weapon. "Yeah, and what was with that anyway? That idiot decided to still attack him anyway after seeing his weapon break, he should be punished." Another boy added. These two were friends of Brandon. One was a level 2.5 user named Faye while the other was a level 3 user named Loop. Leo then stepped up onto the stage and picked up the broken spear from the ground and started to inspect it. "I can guarantee you that all the weapons in this hall are not faulty. Each one has been given the same care as the next. Then how can you explain the weapon breaking?" Faye said, "Unless, it has to be it, he cheated and used an ability." As soon as acquisitions were made, the crowd started mumbling to each other. They could see Quinn's power level, but not many knew about Quinn having no ability. Perhaps he had an ability that simply enhanced his strength, the students thought. Settle down everyone, I can guarantee that no abilities were used, Leo said. How can you be so sure? Faye argued. Then an unexpected person had chimed in and interrupted their conversation. You fool, will you stop being so disrespectful to the teacher? Aaron said, do you not know who he is? Perhaps if I told you his war name you would know. This man is General Leo, or known as the Blind Swordsman. The chatting between the students had gotten even louder. The name Blind Swordsman was known well between common folk. He had helped out a great deal when fighting against the Daki. He's blind, Loop said, unsure whether it was true or not. Doesn't that mean he definitely couldn't tell if the person used an ability or not? In that instant, Leo threw a piece of the broken spear in the direction of Loop. The spear just missed Loop and had hit the back wall. Loop then started to feel a sharp stinging pain on his cheek. As he touched his cheek he noticed a scratch mark. I can see, and hear very well. Better than most of you. My ability allows me to see the aura of people, and when people start to use their ability, their auras change depending on what ability they are using. And I'm telling you now, Quinn didn't use a single ability. With that, the students startled to settle down a bit. It was a memorable first day for all the students in the weapon club, so much had happened. But the class was finally over and it was time for them to head home. Leo, however, couldn't stop thinking about the student known as Quinn. He inspected the spear again and again and found nothing out of the ordinary. However, what Leo didn't reveal was from the very beginning when Quinn had stepped into the room, he could see his aura was slightly different from everyone else's. It wasn't the same as when someone used an ability though, it reminded him of an aura of that of the beasts or the Daki had, one that wasn't human. Pull up the file on Quinn Talon for me. File found. Leo's watch replied. Ability. No ability, power level 1. The watch said again. Just what are you hiding, Quinn?